Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
You know, it's not every day that you get to welcome a brand new show, 2-hour show, the Young and Norvelle Show. We go from 4 to 6. We are live at our Thursday home. You know it by now. Sliders Oyster Bar featuring Safe Harbor Seafood. It's not every day you get to open up a show and you go, hey, I don't want to step out of bounds here, and I don't want to get blank slapped or anything, but we have a sports story today that we will get to here on the program at some point where Chuck Norris, that guy, Chuck Norris has been told, hold my beer. You know, it's not very often you can have a sports story where it is a legitimate hey, Chucky Norris, hold my beer. Okay, we've got one of those today we'll get to in a little bit. It is a fun, loaded up Young and Norvelle show coming to you on a Thursday live from Neptune Beach. We're down in Neptune Beach. Weather's wonderful, a little humid. It's coming, folks. It is coming. We had some great rain last night all over Duval County. We had some rain, I guess, early morning around a lot of areas of Duval County, but it's coming. We've got some, the humidity is here. We would rather have humid and hot and sticky than ice cold and 25 degrees. But it's coming. It's heading this way. You've still got weeks, if not a couple of months, to enjoy the patio here at Sliders Oyster Bar. A lot to get to. Terry Norvelle here. We hope to hear from Patrick Young in a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here on the program, including the first, I think this is the first, Major League Baseball manager firing. The Pittsburgh Pirates said, you got to get out of here. It looks like the Pirates have let their manager, Derek Shelton, they've let him go. And I was prepping the show today, earlier this morning, and I kind of started messing around with some Pittsburgh Pirate numbers. I follow the Pirates because I, like a lot of people, love Paul Skeens, the big right-hander who, I guess, unfortunately, was drafted by the Pirates. He stuck with the Pirates for a while. Paul Skeens, his early start to Major League Baseball is starting to make you think of Nolan Ryan. But anyway, so the Pirates, it looks like they have fired their head coach, Derek Shelton. With that, you may say, well, why were the Pirates the first one? What about the terrible, terrible, terrible Chicago White Sox last year? They were 41 and 142 or whatever the numbers were. What about the Colorado Rockies this year? They are 6 and 36 or whatever. Just terrible, a terrible record. Well, the Pirates, they're like 12 wins right now. And get this, before I knew the manager for the Pirates was fired, I went ahead and started doing some research, putting today's show together. How about as we sit here right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who just fired their manager, they've played like 38 games. They're like 36 and 12, I think it is. The quarter pole, the 1/3 mark of a college, of the Major League Baseball season is 40 games, 40, 40, 40, 40, 160, and then you play 2 more games, okay? So the quarter pole is right here. The Pirates, they do have 12 wins. The White Sox have less, and the Rockies have less. But my God, my goodness gracious, the Pirates went ahead and said, it's not going to get any better. How about this? The Pirates, and here's my note right here. The Pittsburgh Pirate baseball franchise, they have played 38 games as of right now. As of when we're speaking, 38 games. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been shut out in 7 of their 38. 7 of their 38. So that got me thinking this morning as I was, and this was before the Pirates manager was fired. I said, I gotta find the numbers here. The Pirates have thrown a 0 up 7 times in 38 games. The Colorado Rockies, who have only won 6 games total so far, 6 games total, the Rockies have been shut out 4 times. Pirates 7, Rockies 4, difference 3. And to be that guy, I had to look up the Chicago White Sox. Last year, the White Sox were the most inept franchise in the history of modern baseball. The White Sox aren't very good this year. So I looked up the White Sox, and I said, well, if Pittsburgh has fired their coach today, and they did, and he's got 12 wins, the Rockies are sitting on 4 total wins. The White Sox are right there. How in the world do you not go ahead and fire the... Oh, my goodness gracious. Pirates have made a move. And how does this affect? What does this do for Paul Skeens? The White Sox, I'm sorry, the Pirates have 2 really good Major League Baseball players. Their shortstop, O'Neal Cruz, is big time. He is a really talented player. Very young kid. Everything points toward him having about the next 12 to 15 years of big-time Major League Baseball staff. Paul Skeens, we know Paul. What do you, if you're the Pirates, what do you do and how do you do it to not totally turn off your fan base? Anyway, we'll get into that. As we go, a lot of stuff to get to. Some sports news and notes, including Disneyland. Abu Dhabi. They've got a Disneyland going up in an area that you wouldn't think Disneyland is going into. We got topics about that. SEC baseball, 2 weekends left in SEC baseball. There's still a lot of maneuvering going on. Florida's in a good spot right now. SEC baseball, the Gators have a huge weekend series on the road at Texas. And then one more series, SEC baseball versus SEC softball. They're off in terms of schedule by a couple of weeks. The SEC softball group, they're in the middle of their conference tournament. They're about to finish up their conference tournament. The SEC, and I like this, by the way. I really do. I like this a lot. The SEC baseball tournament is away from the SEC softball tournament. I should have it here real quick. Okay, here we go. SEC baseball College World Series. Men, June 13th through the 23rd. SEC College World Series women's, the Women's College World Series, June 5 through 9. So the Women's College World Series, now it's only a couple weeks ahead, but I do like that. I like the fact that the SEC and the Women's College World Series, they're not ciphering, they're not pulling viewers that might say, I'm going to watch the men's SEC tournament, not the women's College World Series tournament. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, that is totally different than what we're doing right now. Do you guys realize, and I don't want to be mean guy, pick at the WNBA guy, you realize the WNBA, they are going through right now their exhibition season. They are playing some practice games, and Caitlin Clark is trying to travel and woo the world, if you will. The WNBA, they are a couple of weeks away from starting their next season. It feels like the WNBA never ends. Am I the only one? It feels like they never have an off season. Now, with that said, it is true. the NBA and the WNBA, if you lay their schedules on top of each other, there's a very finite amount of time, 3, maybe 4 weeks, where they overlap. The NBA is wrapping up their season. The WNBA is currently about to open their season. So the word is, why do they do that? Pro basketball wants to try and be year-round. They want to have the round ball being talked about either in and around the NBA or the WNBA. They think it's best for their sport to stagger the WNBA and the NBA, and certainly that goes into the regular season and the playoffs. I'm not sure I buy into that, but that's what they do. The NBA is a couple of weeks away from ending. The WNBA is wrapping up exhibition games. They're ready to start their season. Okay, you pick it, you watch it. That is your business. I'm not sure when I want to unload this story, and I'm going to ask my buddy Casey Kurtz if he's back in studio. Casey, if you're there, I have what I think is the most badass sports story in the history of sports. I'm
what you
sitting
got
on it. I want to get to it. I'm going to throw it out to you, Casey Kurtz, and you tell me.
All right.
Okay. I like to do this date in sports history. I like to look around and see what happened today, a year ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 100 years ago. Okay. You ready? Casey, get a load of this.
All right.
This date, sports history, 1936. And I never thought I would take our boy Chuck Norris. Nobody is more hold my beer than Chuck Norris, right? He
Right.
is the ultimate hold my beer, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He'll give you a spinning temple kick and hurt you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got one for you. You tell me. This date, sports history, 1936, thoroughbred racing. And I know you're going to say, wait a minute, Terry, what are you talking about? But we're in thoroughbred racing season, right? We just had the Kentucky Derby.
Sure.
So there was a thoroughbred racing horse event this date, 1936, in California. You had a 19-year-old jockey by the name of Ralph Neves, Neves.
Okay.
Ralph Neves, 19-year-old jockey. He was a very experienced jockey. He had, at the time of this story, 2,000, maybe 3,000 runs. Okay, this guy knew what he was doing. He was also a 19-year-old jockey, and he was married. Nothing wrong with that. He was married. So, this date, May 8, 1936, veteran 19-year-old jockey Ralph Neves, Neves, he is on a horse, and they are off. Off they go. He gets knocked off the horse.
Ooh.
He gets trampled.
Ooh.
I'm going to say the word again. He gets trampled basically by the field.
That sounds terrible.
In this, yeah, it's not. It ain't good. It ain't good.
No, it's
you
not.
don't want to get trampled by a bunch of 2,000-pound horses. So, as he gets trampled, he gets knocked off of his mount, and he gets trampled. And this is in California, by the way, one of the famous California tracks. This wasn't a Triple Crown, but I mean, this guy's been around for 2,000 races, okay? So he gets trampled as the horse race finishes. Of course, medical personnel, they flock to him on the course, right?
Sure.
He's laid out there trampled. Everybody saw it. And of course, even though this was 1936, there was a on-course physician. You know, I mean, they understand. You might need some doctors and stuff.
Absolutely.
So the doctors and all, they go out, Casey, and they render aid to 19-year-old jockey Ralph Nevers. who was knocked off of his mount, who was trampled, and the on-track doctor pronounces him dead. He's
Whoa.
deceased. He's gone.
Jeez.
He's gone. You with me?
I'm with you. This is not a good
gone.
story. I'm not going to lie. This is not bringing the mood up in here.
Hey, hang on. He
All
gone.
right.
He
All
gone.
right. Gone.
So, as the physician said, he gone, and they load him up. Now, by the way, his wife was at the track. His wife was at the track. So let me back up. So the track physician, after examining him, they all went to him. They said, he gone.
Gone.
They go on the PA system at the track in California and say, Ralph Nevers took the spill. He's passed away. We would like to take a moment of silence. And they take a moment of silence for Ralph Nevers because he passed away by being bucked off of a race horse and trampled to death in front of everybody.
It's a bad way to
Okay?
go. Bad way to go.
It ain't a good way to go, I'll tell you that.
It's not my top choice, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not my top five even.
No, definitely not.
Okay. So, wifey is at the event, right? She's at the race. I'm assuming once she hears the doctor say, there's nothing we can do for this guy, he's gone. And once they take a moment of silence at the racetrack, Ralph Nevers, you saw it a moment ago, folks. We are sad to report that doctors have said there is no life. He has passed away. Let's take a moment of silence. They take a full moment of silence. I'm assuming wifey is so distraught, she's probably talking to friends and family. Wouldn't you think?
I would.
And they're consoling her.
Yes.
They're consoling her. Okay. So they take my man Ralph. They take my man Ralph Neves to the local doctor's office, emergency room, right?
Sure.
So they take him there, and he's already been pronounced deceased, and they've taken a moment of silence. Well, when they take him around the corner to the closest hospital, somebody has the idea, and they say, and this was straight Pulp Fiction. You ever seen the movie Pulp Fiction?
I have.
Travolta and
Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson and I can't remember the female. So he's now been pronounced dead. They've taken a moment of silence. Obviously, the wife at the track is distraught. Somebody at the hospital says, well, you know what? It's only been a few minutes. Why don't we shoot some adrenaline into his heart? You remember that from Pulp Fiction, right?
Sure.
So, Casey, somebody has the idea and they go ahead and shoot adrenaline into his heart. And guess what happens? You'll never guess what happens.
I'm guessing they had to go back on the moment of silence.
They had to say, hey, you guys remember that moment of silence? My bad. My bad.
We messed up.
So wifey obviously is still at the track.
Sure.
Your boy Ralph Neves, not only does he get revived with an adrenaline shot to the heart, he wants to go back to the track and start riding again.
Really?
So he goes back to the track. He pops up, and the wife sees him, and she passes out. Totally stone cold. She passes out.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah. So she, after hearing that her 19-year-old husband has died on a trampoline on a horse track, qualified physicians pronounced him dead. They took a moment of silence over the PA. She sees it. He pops back at the track. He wants to jump back on a racehorse. The wife sees this and passes out stone cold Steve Austin. Right?
Wow.
All right. So, Casey, that's probably good enough.
Yeah.
How about this? The next day,
Oh
obviously,
no.
wifey and husband they reconciled. They had a reconciliation.
Yep.
I'm not dead.
Yeah. He's like,
You're
I'm
not
alive. She's
single.
like, great.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Well said. I'm alive. You're not a single chick. You can't be carrying on with the neighbor right now. Okay. Maybe you have. Okay. So
Sure.
the next day, and this is where, hey, Chuck, not many people in the world could ever say, hey, Chuck Norris, hold my beer. I think this guy could do it. The next day, 19-year-old, one day ago pronounced dead, Ralph Neves, he rode 5 different mounts.
Wow.
He went back to work. He went back to work.
Unbelievable.
Casey, this guy. Oh my God.
This guy, like,
Now,
I looked him up. He's like incredible at this. Like, he was like really good.
explain that. I don't have it in front of me, but I mean,
So
looking up
yeah,
this morning.
I mean, he comes back to life, if you will. He then lived 60 more years. He's a United
Yes.
States Racing Hall of Famer.
Yes.
He won 3,772 races,
That's my
and he's
man.
one of
My
only
man.
8 people to have 3,000 wins as a jockey. And he died
Hey.
that one time. He died twice, actually. The one time for real, then
Please
the one time he died.
Hey, I don't know, and please keep that up there on your computer if you can.
Sure.
What did they say the ultimate cause of death? Please tell me he didn't die at 78 because he had a hangnail that got infected. He's got to go out better than that, man. I hope he was like helping a nun cross the street and a truck hit him or something.
You know, there is no mention of a hangnail situation, but there also is no mention of a truck situation. It just says he passed away.
And you
So
know
I
what?
think maybe
It's
just
probably-
old.
You know what? Or it's probably just out of honor of being a badass. He just died.
Could be.
You just say he died.
He died.
He died.
Again.
So I mean, we all know the great Chuck Norris. Nobody can beat up Chuck Norris. Can beat up everybody in the world, right? We all know that. I think he has beat up everybody at least once in the world.
That's what they say.
But I think this guy Ralph Neves, I think he could give it a run. I think, hey, Chuck Norris. Not many people can literally say, "Hey, Chuck Norris, hold my beer." Do you think this guy qualifies, Casey? As we go to break, does this guy qualify?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a heck of a story. I don't know how I never heard about this before, but this is one of the
this
all
not
timers. To be honest, I mean, this is a good one.
How is this not a movie, for God's sake?
That's actually a great
Right?
point. How is this not a movie? All of the Disney movies I've seen that suck, this feels like one that could be decent.
Oh my God, I'm right. Oh,
Yeah.
Casey. Hopefully nobody has heard our show, and you and I can like tippy toe, and we can let's start trying to get the rights to this story, man. This is
like it.
great.
I mean, this is a good one. This is wild, wild, wild stuff. Because, like,
How about
it's
that?
not just he survived and, like, was fine, which would be a story in itself. Bro won
Yes.
3,772 wins after he died.
He just went till. Hey, this was 19. He just went till 76 or whatever. Oh, what the hell? I'll show you, bastards. All right.
Exactly.
I'll show you, bastards. That's bad. That is just bad A stuff right there. All right, let's take a break. We're off and running. I thought you guys would enjoy that, and we're still in the horse racing time of year. Obviously, we just had the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and then the Belmont. Casey, being serious for a moment as we get a break, have you ever followed the true story? And I know there's movies about it of the incredible racehorse Secretariat and what Secretariat did in the Triple Crown back in
I have not.
73. It's ungodly, and I'm one of the people. Am I the most learned sports guy in the world? No, I'll never say I know more, and I've got my opinion. I'm one of the people that literally, if you said Terry Norvelle on your deathbed or right now or somewhere in between, if you said Terry Norvelle, could you please take a moment, capture your thoughts, catch your breath, and say, what in your lifetime was the greatest sports performance of all time? If you asked me that, I would come back with Secretariat winning the third leg of the Triple Crown. Obviously, the Kentucky Derby, it's weird. The Kentucky Derby is the first race of the Triple Crown.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like Daytona 500 is the first race, the Super Bowl. But
sure.
So Secretariat had already won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, I guess, and I may mix it. And then the final race was the Belmont. Secretariat, I think, was the greatest athlete. And I'm going to call a horse an athlete.
Okay.
If you said, Terry, who's the greatest athlete you saw in your lifetime, and what was the greatest performance? It would be Secretariat and Secretariat. You realize Secretariat, to finish off the Triple Crown, and I believe it was the Belmont. Always mix up who goes first. It's Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont. I'm almost sure. Secretariat, to win the Triple Crown in 1973, won the race by 31 lengths. It was the most god dang blankety blank thing you've ever seen in your life. And what makes it incredible, you got to understand, Casey, the horses that he beat by 31 lengths, those were the other 7 greatest horses in the world.
Yeah.
You're not supposed. It was ungodly. But we didn't lead the show off with that, Casey. You and I, we let off with a guy dying at 19.
Yeah.
and coming back. Hey, you're the producer, my man. I'm gonna blame it on you.
That is what it is. You know how far 31 lengths is in real life?
No, I don't. Do you?
I just looked it up. It is 248 feet.
And God, and Casey, you've probably seen the highlight over the years. You may not remember, but you've seen it. I've seen it a million times. I was like an 8-year-old kid watching it. It was ungodly. If I can correlate it with something, could you imagine you have the 10 fastest sprinters in the world, Usain Bolt, everybody in the world that's the 10 fastest, and the gun goes off, and let's just say Usain Bolt, at the end of 100 meters, Usain Bolt finishes 20 meters ahead. That's just ridiculous because the other runners are the best in the world. That's what Secretariat did. It was now, I will say this, and as we get a break, you might can look it up. I'm too lazy because, well, I'm lazy. The word was, obviously, Secretariat won the Triple Crown in 73, and you win a lot of money, and then you become a stud, right? You get paid to stud fee, right? That's just how that world works.
Mm-hmm.
So Secretariat goes, and when Secretariat, the horse, finally passed away, and you can look this up, and maybe we can talk about it on the other side of this break. Secretariat, I guess, I don't know if autopsy is the right word with a horse. I don't know if that's, pardon me if it's the wrong word, but Secretariat supposedly, after death, medical people looked at Secretariat and I guess did an autopsy. And supposedly Secretariat had a massively enlarged heart, which kind of, you look back and you go, okay, well, that's why this big red horse could go the minute and they're off. He was going 100%. Supposedly Secretariat had a incredibly large heart for the size of the horse and all. And many people, maybe just a fluke. So There you go. Look it up, Casey. Look it up as we go to break. One
All
down,
right.
a long way to go. We got a lot of fun to talk about. Boy, we've had a Major League Baseball manager firing, and no. It was not in Chicago around the White Sox or Colorado around the Rockies. We'll tell you about who got fired in Major League Baseball today, should they have gotten fired, and who else might get fired. A lot of sports to get to, SEC baseball, miscellaneous sports news and notes, a lot to get to here on on a Thursday, live from Sliders Oyster Bar right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Look of downtown Jacks Vegas. I don't want to get into a deep discussion here as we welcome you back to the Young and Norvelle show on a Thursday. We're at our Thursday home. I've seen a bunch of my friends. What a fun place. Sliders Oyster Bar down here in Neptune Beach. just a fun place. I was here Sunday. I come here all the time. I ride my beach cruiser down here. It's just a fun. Number one, the best seafood, the freshest seafood. If that matters to you, the best seafood, the freshest seafood. Well, get to Sliders Oyster Bar. They feature and carry in their menu Safe Harbor Seafood. Safe Harbor Seafood is right there, folks. I'm telling you, from the ocean to your plate, it doesn't get any fresher than that. And it's just a fun place. Great people watching, indoor dining, indoor bar, full liquor bar. Obviously, the Oyster Bar, Johnny Pop and the folks running the Oyster Bar. It's a fun place. I'm here all the time. And if you do know, well, you know. If you don't know, you need to know. Sliders Oyster Bar, my location, our location right now. And we certainly hope you check it out if you don't know, in Neptune Beach, in the really the corner, the cool place. You know it. You love it. If you don't, you will fall in love with it. Sliders Oyster Bar. Casey Kirk's producing. We've got I've been threatened a little bit.
Ooh.
Patrick Young says he's on his way. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Patrick makes it here. We talked about Casey. We've had a firing. What are the odds if that the first Major League Baseball manager firing would not be the White Sox manager or the Rockies manager, Casey?
True.
The Pirates guy got fired.
Yeah, tough go for Derek Shelton. But, you know.
Sorry, bud.
A lot of losses is not going to help you keep your job. I will say Derek Shelton, no shout out to him. He was a good hitting coach for the Rays for 5-6 years or so a little while ago. Good hitting coach, apparently not the world's best manager, but also the same thing I say about a lot of the managers when they get fired in those situations. What was he supposed to do? You're giving him AAA players for the most part.
That's a really, really, really good point. I remember last year when the White Sox were setting the current record, right? The White Sox, modern Major League Baseball, last year the White Sox went 41 and 121. If you had I think that comes up to 162. They 41 wins, 121 losses, the White Sox. And of course, they fired, and I know this guy because I played college baseball in this area, Pedro Grifol, who was he played the big leagues. He wasn't a star player, but Grifol was the White Sox manager last year, and he got fired as the season played out. He was a former FSU star catcher. I mean, really good catcher out of Miami, went to the College World Series. Well, they fired him. And, Casey, what you just said, I think I echoed that last year. I went, well, my God, what you fired? I know at times companies and corporations have to do something if they're underperforming. Mm-hmm. But if you're Pedro Grifol last year, you had chicken. They asked you to make chicken salad out of chicken.
Sure.
You know what I mean? What are you supposed to do if you got no players?
Yeah, I mean, in the worst way, you collect a paycheck and hope for the best, and that's what you do to a certain amount of time. But at the end of the day, like, you can only work with what you got. You can only cook what's in the kitchen. And the White Sox last year sucked. There's no other way to put it. They didn't have good players. Yeah. And the unfortunate part I think about for the Pirates is, and for Derek Shelton, because again, I like the guy who was a coach of the Rays. There are players ready to play for the Pirates, like prospects that should be ready. Sure. The problem is, like, a guy like Henry Davis, who you drafted as the first overall pick a couple years ago, he can't hit in the majors. So, and that's not Derek Shelton's fault, but you missed on that one. And you traded for a guy last year, Nick York, who was supposed to be a good prospect, hasn't worked out. So he's not even in your majors right now. So you've whiffed on some prospects. You have pitching prospects that for whatever reason you're not calling up, and you're going to have somebody get fired because of it.
Yeah. And I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't know. So pardon me if I throw this out.
You're good.
But you look at the Pirates organization. Obviously, they're struggling. They're not Rockies bad or White Sox bad, but they're right there. They've won 12 games. The Rockies have won 10. The White Sox have won 10, I think it is, and the Rockies 6. Okay, so the Pirates aren't the worst team, but they're not very good. If you're the Pirates, though, the easy thing to say is, well, you know what? The Pirates, they do have two superstars, Paul Skeens and O'Neal Cruz. Well, I don't know if it's as easy if you're a fan in the Pittsburgh area. If you say, well, just go trade those two and get some good play. Well, if you're not going to pay to be one of the best, all you're going to do is cycle Skeens and O'Neill Cruz out and kind of be back where you're at, right? I mean, what do you do if you're Pittsburgh? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're in a tough spot. I mean, again, and I follow the prospect stuff a lot more than other people, but like you've got two guys who, maybe not two guys. You've got at least one guy for sure that could pitch for you right now in Bubba Chandler. He's their number one prospect. I think there's no business. He should be in the majors without a doubt. Hunter Barco's a name you probably know. He pitched for Florida.
Yeah, the Bulls kid.
Yeah, and he pitched for Bulls as well. He's been.
Where's he at?
He's in AAA now, but he's been hurt, so he really has not pitched much in the last couple of years since he's been drafted, but he's close. They have a kid, Braxton Ashcraft. He's close. So you do have pitching that you think is going to work. The problem is they can't hit, and they're hitting prospects, like I mentioned to Henry Davis. Like, it hasn't worked, and it looks like it's not going to work. So the question is, do you give up some of those arms that I just mentioned to try to get position players? But, you know, it's tough because those you might actually have some good arms there.
And, Casey, if you, management, ownership, Pirates, if you make that move, you can't just make that move and quit. You got to say, we're in it all the way. We may have to spend more in a month or 3 months. Are you in it, or are you just treading players, you know?
Right.
Treading players makes your fans say, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not giving you my money. You're treading players.
Definitely. And I mean, not to defend the Pirates ownership because they shouldn't be defended, but like from what they tried to do originally, like their third baseman, Key Brian Hayes, was supposed to be a big part of it. He's not the player that they thought he was going to be. So like you stuck true to what you wanted to do there. He wasn't that guy. Henry Davis is not that guy. O'Neill Cruz is good. Brian Reynolds is decent, but like Key Brian Hayes is a nice player. He's not a 20 home run driving a bunch of guys player. He's just not that. And again, the big Henry Davis being not good is a huge.
I remember
problem.
that name, and do you think I remember that name, Henry Davis, and he was a high considered prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think does he still have a chance, or is he done?
I mean,
did they just miss on him?
No, they have to try. I mean, look, they picked him number 1 overall. You have to try. Like, but like he's spent parts. This is the 3rd season that he spent parts of in the show, and it's just gotten worse. I mean, he's hitting 133. It's not good. Like, it's really not good. But the thing about that is, you're the Pirates. You suck. If you let this guy play this year, like fully all the way through when he's healthy, and if he's still bad, you go, okay, we tried. We gave it every ounce of effort we could. If he plays a lot this year, that'll be 200 or something games in. He's still hitting under 200. Like, he doesn't have power. He does not play a great catcher behind the plate. And then I think it's easier to move on. But at this moment in time, you already know you're terrible. You're done for the season playoff-wise. Let the kid play, see what happens. Maybe it'll surprise you.
Hey, and speaking of the Pirates being terrible, obviously they fired their manager today. They're not the worst record-wise. They're 3rd or 4th worst record-wise. How about this? As I'm putting the show together today, I said, well, let me look around. They just fired their coach. Let me look around. How about this? We know the Rockies are terrible. I mean, they are fighting to not be the worst ever. They've won 6 games. We're almost at the quarter point, okay? The Rockies are terrible, 6 wins. We also know the White Sox, 2nd year. Yeah, hey, the White Sox, as we'll welcome Pat on in a second, the White Sox are terrible. They set the record last year, Casey, and they have like 10 wins. So 6 wins, 10. The Pirates right now are at 12 wins, but Casey, you said something a moment ago about, I don't know how you phrased it, the Pirates they just can't score. I looked at the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Pirates season to date. Okay? How about this? The Rockies have been shut out in 30 everybody's coming up on 40 games. The Rockies have been shut out this year 4 times. The White Sox have been shut out 4 times. The Pittsburgh Pirates, after 38 games, almost a quarter of the full, they've been shut out 7 times. They haven't scored a running in 7 games, Casey, out of 38, almost a quarter full. They're even worse, even though the record is not, they're worse than the White Sox and the Rockies. They can't score.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it doesn't surprise me just because of, again, I follow the prospect stuff a little bit. Like the White Sox have younger players that like are position players that can hit. They've had some guys that they've brought up that have been good. So that part doesn't surprise me. And then the Rockies, it's always been pitching because no one on earth wants to pitch in that ballpark.
Pitching in that ballpark, yeah.
So, I mean, the Pirates have that problem, and the White Sox and the Rockies have a pitching problem. So, collectively, it's bad.
And I know we want to bring our buddy Mr. Young here on the show. But, Casey, real quick, this is such a tough thing to throw at you. O'Neal Cruz, but more specifically, Paul Skeens. How much longer will those 2 guys be wearing will they be there 2 more years, a year and a half? How much longer will they be there wearing Pittsburgh Pirate uniforms?
I mean, I think you have to milk every single ounce of Skeens that you can until you have to pay him, because that's really the only reason that people are buying tickets. You have that appeal. O'Neal Cruz, I think, would probably go first. They have technically control of him until 29, so through the 28 season. So there's going to be some appeal there, but I think Skeens longer term has to stay just because they have to. I think O'Neal Cruz is movable right now because you get, I think, a solid package for him. He's a really good player.
You get the argument, and Patrick, you've been around baseball enough, but I'm going to go way back. Sports has great arguments. One of the great Major League Baseball pitching arguments. Who's the best pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball? Yeah. Who's the best pitcher? And Walter Johnson and Sandy Koufax and Roger. The issue when it comes to 20-plus year star pitcher Nolan Ryan, his numbers, over 5,000 strikeouts. Nolan Ryan has incredible numbers. He also has some negative numbers because Nolan Ryan played out of his 100% career. I bet you 60% of his career, he played on teams that weren't very good. He played on a bunch of Astro teams that were average and Ranger teams that were. I don't want to see Paul Skeens get stuck and have a Nolan Ryan career. You go, well, wait a minute. Why does everybody call Paul Skeens such a great pitcher? He's only won 128 games and he's lost 140. You know, Casey, I worry that he's going to go the Nolan Ryan route.
Yeah, I mean, it's setting up that way at this point. I will say this, though, Nolan Ryan, Hall of Famer. I think if it ends that way for Paul Skeens, he won't care if he loses 100 games.
You got to look at the stats.
Maybe he won't.
I would contend to say you have to look at the stats.
Yeah.
When you want to talk about greatest pitcher that don't require anybody else other than the opponent.
Yeah.
So wins and losses are not a great, if you're talking about things that the pitcher can control. So strikeouts, obviously, are going to be big. ERA, that's going to be, and ERA, you got to put that one in with a little bit of a, because, well, no, errors don't, if there's an error, that doesn't count towards the ERA.
Yeah.
But yeah, ERA will be a big one too. Lifetime ERA. What else, Terry?
But Patrick, I love where you're going with that. And Casey, you're a baseball guy. I want you to jump in. I don't know if this is a stat, but wouldn't you love to see, and I know early this season, Paul Skeens has had a lot of his starts. And if you added up all of his innings, he's had a lot of innings where he threw a 0 on the board. Okay, maybe he had a 3-run inning again. But same with Nolan Ryan probably had a buck. But that's not really I know ERA factors into zeros, but I wish there was a better stat that could say, my God, and I know this for a fact, Paul Skeens is 3-4 right now. He's had a bunch of innings in his, 7 starts so far. He's had a bunch of innings where he's thrown zeros on the board. I mean, you can't do a whole lot more. You throw a zero, and remember, the Pirates have scored 0 runs in 7 games out of 30. They've only played 38.
Terry, Terry, I now wonder if there's a new stat we need to throw in there. Earned run average obviously is important but like one that's going to because it would be kind of dumb if we just counted scoreless innings.
Yes.
But could we average scoreless innings per 9 innings?
Good point.
Could we have a stat? Because I think that number would show you a little bit more of the consistency versus, like, I don't know. It can be a low number, but like, they're putting up 1 run, 2 run, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run in a bunch of innings. Yeah. I need to find where's our smart statistics guy?
Not here, not me. Casey.
I need the scoreless inning per 9 inning average.
I don't understand what you just said. Say that again. What? Wait, what?
So per 9 innings that a pitcher pitches, we're gonna just not worry about if they do 6 innings, if they do 3, if they do 7, 8. We're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna put it all in a 9-inning game. Per 9 innings, how many of those innings is scoreless? Is 0?
I got you.
Because then, to your point, Terry, about Paul Skeens, like that's a real good number to highlight.
Yeah. I mean, to Skeens' credit, I'm not trying to hide him, but everybody knows I like Paul Skeens. I followed him at LSU. I love. There's just something cool about 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He looks like he does it effortlessly.
But
I don't know. It was either his last outing or 2 outings ago. He went 6 innings pitched. The first 5, he had bagels on the board. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. The 6th inning, he walked a few batters, gave up a hit, and he gave up 2 runs. 2 friggin' runs in the 6th inning. He was 6 complete, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Okay. My God, you can't give your starting pitcher 3 runs. He just gave you 5 scoreless. He gave up 2 in the 6th, and he came out of the game. My God, go score. You're a major league team. Go score 3 runs and at least get him off the hook, right? And Casey, get him off the hook, which means a no decision, for God's sake.
Yeah, definitely. So that was his last start, by the way. Quick math, which I'm not good at, Patrick, but this is for you. In his last 17 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed runs in 2 of those innings.
Oh, wow.
And he's 3-4.
So, but what's nice about that statistic, it would lean more on the side of coaches that are pro pulling guys early, because you might see, oh, man, per 9 innings, they have about 5 scoreless innings. So I need to pull this guy after 5.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw this
back. Those damn statistics, Terry.
I know. Damn stats. Damn you stats. I'm going to throw this back to Casey Kurtz, our buddy, baseball, our producer, and our buddy that knows baseball real well. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Me, you, and Patrick, we are sitting in and around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, right? We're maybe in the city, on the outskirts. We are very close to the, PNC Park, where they play the Pirates. Okay, we love baseball. The 3 of us love baseball. We're near the park. We've been reared in that park. We've been reared going. The easy thing to say is, well, at some point when the contracts work themselves out, just go trade Skeens for a bunch of good players and go trade O'Neill. Well, why do I then want to get in my car and I get it, they're major league teams, I get that, but why am I going to go spend my money if all you do is trade the superstars away to the superstar, right? I mean, that's a tough ask over and over, year after year. Are you trying to get in the game and win the game, or are you just asking us to go? Whoever wears the black and gold, we're supposed to just go through the turnstile. That's a tough ask, man.
Yeah, it's not the best, and I'll tell you, as a Rays fan, that's been my whole life to this point. So, it does get old, but yeah, I've seen every player on the Rays that I ever loved left at some point. They got rid of Longoria, they got rid of David Price, like they always leave.
Yeah. And you know what? But I'm gonna throw a little asterisk when it comes to the Marlins and the Rays, but particularly the Marlins. At least when the Marlins were doing that, they were doing that fire sale every 5 or 6 years, and they were winning titles, though. They at least had a title. Pittsburgh's nowhere near
one title.
Yeah.
One title.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do? What do you freaking do? So Casey, as we go to break, Paul Skeens, I don't know. You probably do. I don't know the rookie contract MLB world. Do they have you for 4 years, 3 years, 5 years? But is it pretty obvious Paul Skeens, when his first official contract's up, he's not pitching for the Pirates his second go around, right?
I mean, barring some unbelievable turn of events, I would say that, yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, the baseball contracts are goofy, so, like, they have control of him, per se, but, like, he can't get out of it. They would have to move him. But right now he's in this thing called pre-arbitration, and then he'll go to arbitration, and then he would be a free agent player. So, like, he will not be able to leave on his own for, like, 6 years.
Yeah.
There's pre-arbitration before you even do anything?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
It usually doesn't come up because, like, guys don't make it to the majors that quick. So, like, you would think it's just like a minor league re-up of the contract, if you will. But he made it in the first year of his contract, so, like, you don't really see it. But, like, it's very much a thing because minor leaguers don't sign long-term deals.
There you go. And this will be one of those situations where we're at. Today is May 8th. The All-Star break is always around the 4th of July, I think a week or two after the 4th of July. It'll be here before you know it. This will be one of those situations, in case y'all throw this to you, you're kind of a baseball guy. This will be one of those situations. Paul Skeens will make the All-Star game, and he'll run out to the mound early, even though his record may be 5-7 when the All-Star game rolls around, right? Because people figure out
definitely
his ass off. It's 5-7, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick said it a minute ago, like, the wins and losses don't matter anymore for pitchers. Like, it's unfortunate. Like, I know older baseball people feel that it's not right. But, like, to me, I don't care if you're 0-15, other than it looks ugly and you're probably going to get made fun of. If your ERA is under 3 and, like, your strikeouts per 9 is in that 8-9 area, I don't care how many games technically you lost because you're giving us a chance to win.
And Casey, am I correct? Skeens a couple years ago, he was 1 of 1, right? He was the first player picked, right?
Yeah, he was 1-1 in 23.
So the Pirates just were loving life because they were sitting at 1 of 1, right? That's how they got him, right?
Yes, that is correct. They won the lottery.
Oh my goodness, Patrick Young, one of 1. Now he's making a lot of money, and I just hate to see him wasting 3 or 4 years. You only have so many throws in an arm, man. And I know Nolan Ryan, we compare him to. Nolan was a freak. There's only so many fastballs in that arm, man. So many fastballs in that shoulder. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll wrap it up. Hour number 1. Fun Thursday edition. The Young Norvelle Show. We're live at our Thursday home. It's starting to fill up here at happy hour. We are at Sliders Oyster Bar. Patrick Young, Casey Kurtz, Terry Norvelle, and you. Stay with us. We got a ton of other stuff to discuss here on the Young Norvelle Show coming back after this timeout.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, back we are. He is Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle, our producer, of course, the great Casey Kurtz. We're bringing you a Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show live right here on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Patrick Young,
Terry,
a little birdie told me that you might have had a meal with one of your former basketball coaches recently. That's pretty cool.
I did.
Well,
I did, and I am happy to announce that the great Jim Martin is looking and will be, as soon as we get these details down, having a segment on the Young and Norvelle Show for these next few months.
That's pretty cool. He's Coach Martin, obviously a longtime basketball coach, as good as they get. Coach Martin could have easily gone the college route a long time ago. He loves high school.
He will break the Florida record for wins. He will break the Florida record.
How about that? He'll bust the Florida record for wins. Pat, you played for him at Providence, and certainly we are obviously. I think this week and next week high schools are graduating. So we've got a situation where every summer parents kind of think, well, where am I going to put my kids at? I need to get them in a camp. I need to get them in some activities. Coach Martin has run a summer camp or camps for years. Can you speak a little bit? I know we're a little premature, but can you speak a little bit of?
We're a little premature, but I feel really confident. It wouldn't make sense for him to not be a part of us promoting him, as me being someone that's played under him. And my regret is that when Jim Martin came to me to present his idea for beginning the Jacksonville Basketball Academy, as well as the above facility, as well as the Fort Caroline location, as well as they are all around. They're in churches. I didn't pull the trigger to invest with him.
Yeah.
And what's so cool, the church that I grew up in, he is spreading open a new location there. They're going to redo the gym, and they're going to have a camp there this summer. So if you want your child to have the best opportunity to develop in Jacksonville, being able to create those relationships with other families and other kids. I mean, my best friend, I'm not exaggerating. This is my I would die for this man. Matt Santoni, he is one of the coaches that I would love for your kids to be coached by. My kids are going to be coached by his. So I can't speak enough words. You getting your kids an opportunity to go get trained with Coach Martin and the team that he's created at any of those locations.
Let me ask you this for people that are out there, and summertime can be tough on parents because, I don't want to say this erroneously, but sometimes public school or school is kind of the babysitter. At least the parent can go to work and know that the kid is at school. Summertime, there's kind of a void, and a lot of parents are looking to get their children in activities, and you just don't want them laying around and doing nothing, or just going to Aunt Susie's house and eating and doing nothing. With regard to Coach Martin, Coach Jim Martin, longtime Providence coach, his camps, are they, and I don't know this, I'm asking this as a question.
Yeah.
Are his basketball camps geared toward the athlete that wants to up his or her game, or can it also just be build character and learn life lessons?
Well, the character part is something that's never, that should, parents listening, the character building and the challenging and the development there on that side, if that's not a centerpiece in why your child is participating in any activity, I challenge you to take a look back and see why you're doing what you're doing. Just a waste to spend so much money, time, and passion into something and for it to not affect the way we live our lives.
Yeah.
I believe that basketball as a team sport helps you to have respect for authority, helps you to learn how to commit, helps you learn how to sit and wait, helps you learn how to lead. I mean, there's so many things you can throw in there, but on the individual level, and this is one thing I got to brag on Providence right now. If you look at a school, and this is not disparaging these schools they're playing within the rules.
Yeah.
Trinity's baseball program has about, 10 kids that are in the homeschool system that are playing on the baseball team.
I agree.
Providence has not accepted doing that because it's not fair to the kids that are paying full-time, full tuition. But they train a lot of homeschool kids.
Nice.
Throughout the year, there's individual training for those players that are individual training. And then there's the AAU Basketball League. Coach Martin's team, they have about 25 basketball teams in Jacksonville. So your kid can be a part of a team, of the individual. I think every part of it is beneficial because the last thing you want to do is to waste talent and waste time.
Yeah.
So what better way to take advantage of that, right, Terry?
And absolutely right. Well said, Patrick. And guys like you and me, we look back and even as a youngster, I thought I had a million summers. My summer between
I know,
sixth
right?
grade
Man,
and
goodness.
sixth grade and seventh grade. My summer between seventh and eighth and ninth and 10th. Well, you know what? You don't. And the last thing you need to do is just lay around all summer and eat and watch TV and play video games and rarely go out of the house. Mom and dad are gone working, and I think summer structure, I think, is really important. Wouldn't you say that, Patrick, for young people?
Oh, dude. I was speaking with the lady that helps me with my foundation, Andrea Lupert. She's fantastic, and she has 2 girls. And I talked to her about going into this season of the girls not having school, and it's like it's really nice to not have to do the morning shuffle, the morning Zoom. You know what I'm talking about, Terry?
Yes. Yes.
So there's a benefit there. The kids being able to sleep in a little bit, but she has a plan for them to get involved in things, and it's nice to have them around, but kids need tasks.
I agree.
Kids certainly need tasks and direction, or they'll just gonna. And what's so ironic? It's so crazy. Her oldest daughter is 10 years old.
Right.
She realizes like she has an iPad and her parents have the restrictions on there, because I think it's extremely wise. If you're going to give your kids electronics, don't allow them just to have free reign and access to everything.
Yeah.
Like, let them, like, as they develop, okay, you can have a phone, you can play games, you can message your friends, but I'm going to keep you from the internet. So her daughter realized, like, they have this Disney Plus app that if she's watching stuff on Disney Plus, then she can't stop.
Nice.
She's like, I can't stop. So she's like, I got to delete it.
Nice.
And I was like, you know how many adults would love to see be able to just can't have like lives? Like, I realize this is harmful. I need to just delete this thing and find something else to do. Man.
I can even bring that to, gosh darn, I'm a 60-year-old dude. Patrick, I think we also run into problems when we just do repetition things. There are times I will go home, I can wrap this show up, put the gear away, get in my car, go home. I walk in the door, I see my dog, I take her out, I let her use the bathroom, my feet hurt.
Penny.
I
Penny.
Penny.
Love Penny.
I go
I
upstairs.
haven't even met Penny, and I love her.
Oh, she's a sweet girl. But I mean, I'll go upstairs, put my night clothes on, kind of lounging around, and if I'm not careful, I will watch the same exact channels and shows. Oh, I don't think that's good. I think we need to be shaken up a little bit. Right? If I'm not careful, I'll watch.
So, man, I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's not a benefit to that, but it's like,
yeah,
when we really truthfully take a glance and look at how much time we have left, it's so convicting, because you can't talk about and having like mortality and not be confronted with it. Even like, I'm the one bringing it up, and I'm trying to affect everybody else, but this is going to affect me too.
Yeah.
Man, the number of summers, the number of Thanksgivings, the number of hours, and how much time we lose off of things we can't change. Terry, you and I can't change that we need to drive to get certain places to do things. We can't change that we need a certain amount of sleep per day. We can't steal more hours. You can try in doing that, but look how it will affect the other parts of your life, right? So, man, this whole glance at and that's why, when you look at these decisions in sports that are made, there's how many guys realistically are playing in their 40s, Terry?
Exactly. Well said.
How many?
Well, not many.
Right?
Not many.
Not many, and at a high level. Like, they're unicorns, they're outliers.
Yeah.
Like, the decisions that are made for these young men, like a Paul Skeens, like his baseball life, you pray and hope that he could have a Nolan Ryan-like career, but that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Like, do these teams really make these decisions? They make decisions based upon the business and the organization, not what's best for the player.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
Hey,
where I
Pat.
think as fans, sometimes it's twofold. Really cheer on those guys that are screwed by the organizations. And
Yeah.
then we should feel bad by some guys, like maybe a Trevor Lawrence. We can feel really bad for a Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to say that was put in an impossible situation.
Yeah.
Because I believe he can do it. But he was put in a pretty hitty with the word S in front situation.
Nice.
Hitty.
I'm with you. Hey, you mentioned, Patrick, you mentioned a moment ago that, and we're talking about Coach Jim Martin over at Providence. He was your coach. He's a legendary coach here in our area. Basketball, just and mentor, and I'm sure he touches a lot of lives and has touched a lot of lives other than basketball players in his daily activities at Providence. You mentioned he's about to become the winningest high school basketball. Say that again now. That's crazy.
He's still got a ways to go, but he will hit that record. He will be.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
In all honesty, I don't think it's that secret to know that Coach Martin's wife hasn't been very well sometime.
Yeah, sure. I'm aware. I'm aware.
She's not doing well. She's not doing well, and it's been heartbreaking for everyone in the family because Laura Martin is the sweetest human being I've ever met in my life. And it's almost like it's already experienced the key to happiness on earth. And they achieved the goal. And I thought of her, I'm like, man, she achieved it. She has a great family. Everybody loves her. And it's been a tough time for Coach Martin, but basketball is something that gets him up excited every day. And I know he's absolutely just pumped for the opportunities.
I hear you, man. I run into Coach Martin and his wife around town, and here's a guy that, I mean, you're a full-time high school coach and instructor and teacher and guidance counselor. You got a lot of roles, and he's also a caretaker. And being a full-time caretaker is hard, man. It's hard. I've been in those situations a little bit in my life. Short time. It's hard. It is tough. And I look forward to visiting with Coach Martin. He's got some camps that we want to. And again, families are always looking for camps, structured, quality time to send their young people during the summer because we got to fill some hours here, and everybody's about to graduate, and or the school year is about to end. And I look forward to talking just ball with Coach Martin. And Pat, you can speak to this.
I know, right?
Coach Jim Martin over at Providence, he knows them all, right? I mean, he sent players to Coach K. He sent players to Billy Donovan. He knows all these guys, right? In big time college basketball. And we may have lost Pat there, but Patrick was one of the guys I'm referencing. Billy Donovan, that guy at Florida recruited Patrick.
Billy Donovan, he sent guys to Temple. He sent guys to Kentucky. Stacy Poole went to Kentucky. He sent guys to divisions. He sent J.P. Coleman, John Paul to Davidson College. He sent Wyatt Walker, ended up going to Sanford, then Chattanooga, then NC State. I mean, the number of athletes he's had that have made it to the next level.
The kid from Duke. Why am I missing his name? The kid from Duke right here.
Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen will be he's number one. He's number one.
Grayson Allen. So I look forward to visiting with Coach over the summer as we talk about his camps and where to get your kids in some structured situations. Man, he's fun. I've sat around, Pat. I'll run into Coach Martin just occasionally over a beer, and I just sit there and let him talk, man. His resume and his knowledge of basketball is immense. It is really something. I know you played for the guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
A
He is the
lot of
best, man. He's got great, great, great stories, man.
oh,
And I
and
know, and guys, we tell you, he's gonna when Coach Martin's on. First thing Terry's gonna do is try to get Coach Martin to tell all the bad stories.
oh,
I
absolutely
know,
about
I
you.
know, I know Terry. I know Terry too well.
And Patrick, I can't lie. You are. Hey, people think Patrick Young, you're so squeaky clean. No. We're gonna find some dirt. We're gonna find some. Hey,
Only
can
Terry.
I tell you? Can I tell you a real quick story
Hey,
about Coach?
if you find dirt on me, you know what I'm gonna do to you?
What?
I'm gonna find Miss Atlanta.
Oh no! Don't do that.
I'm gonna.
Don't.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
find Miss Atlanta on you.
She broke my heart, man. She
So
broke my heart.
just think about that. All right.
I waited too long though. I should have committed earlier. Patrick though, Coach Martin, man, he's so much fun to talk basketball with. My God, here's where I go back with him. Coach Martin, and I'm not going to be mean here. He's a couple years older than me. I just turned 60. Coach is a few years older. You remember Coach Martin was a really good basketball player out of Tampa, I believe it was, and he came to JU. He was a good guard for JU when JU in the 70s late they were going to the tournament. Coach Martin was a scrappy player, man. He was a good player.
You know what? I've never talked to him about his basketball. I need to ask that next time. We'll ask him on the show.
Yeah, he played at JU. He was a Jimmy Martin from Tampa came to JU, and this was when Coach Martin came to JU 4 or 5 years after the Artis Gilmore run, which was incredible, and right before the Otis Smith, Ronnie Murphy run. I mean, Ronnie Murphy went in the first round of the draft, and JU was good when Jimmy Martin played. And we called him Jimmy Martin back then, Coach Martin, Jim Martin. He was a scrappy, highly recruited guard out of Tampa. And he came to JU because JU was playing in the old Coliseum in the 70s. And JU would get 6, 7, 8,000 fans per game. They were good, man. They were good.
Wow.
He was good. He was good.
Well, I believe it, man. Talking to Coach, his dad, military dad, him and his brothers, man, discipline, obey. He said the only not obeying, it wasn't bad behavior, a problem in the household. It was not obeying what dad said. So, he figured that out, getting into an authority position or getting under authority. I love to hear how his coach, but then, he wants and that stories are told when it comes to player coach are told from the players. When it comes to interaction between application, I think it's told better.
And Pat, your dad, Robert Young,
he will tell you how mean and how much of a who's the he was when he started coaching.
Yes.
Then he was still rough. He was still rough, but he wasn't that rough. And now, man, he's soft as pudding, man. I saw him the other day, and I'm like, Coach, I'm looking at you right now, and I love you the best. I gotta be honest. I'm not scared of you one bit. And I gotta go change my hair.
Nice.
Oh,
I guarantee you. I think your dad was around in our area when Coach Martin, late 70s, was coming. Your dad will remember Coach Martin as a player. He was a big time.
Yeah, he should.
He was a good player. He was a good player at a.
If he's 65, just under my dad, so my dad should. Maybe I don't know. He might remember him. I don't know.
And I'll tell you. I'll tell you another thing about Coach Martin as we go to break here, Pat. We'll probably let you go if you need to. We're starting to wrap things up. Coach Martin's career, and you played for him, and you know his career as a coach at the high school level. He could have he had multiple chances to get out of here.
Yeah.
He could have
Family,
gone
man.
college route, or he could have
Too
chased
much.
money, and he never did. And he
Nope.
never did.
He and I don't want to speak for him, but just in how much I know him, I think it would have been so hard for him to leave Travis and Ty and Angela.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a college coach, you're on the road. You're working super late hours. And he's still, like, as a high school basketball coach, does he still travel? Yes. Does he still coach in the afternoon and sometimes early morning? Yes, but, like, that is the compromise of dad still being in your life on a consistent basis.
Good point.
You know, on that,
And, you know,
on that college level, man, it's different.
and you know, we'll go to break on this.
Especially now.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go to the break on this, Pat, but I want you to add on to this. At least one of his sons, I think Tyler was his name, big-time baseball player. I mean, he was a big-time college baseball player.
Really good pitcher. Really good pitcher. And in basketball, I mean, one of the deadliest deep ball shooters I've ever played with.
Nice. I like it. All right, PY, why don't you get out of here? I know you're in a car. It sounds like you might be in a car. Get where you're going. Good stuff
I'm just
on
sitting in the shade outside the house, man. It's a beautiful day. I hate being inside.
It is a gorgeous day. It's a gorgeous time of year. Pat, we'll let you go. We'll get back together tomorrow, Friday, the Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll come back, myself and Casey Kurtz. We'll start wrapping things up on a Thursday, live from our Thursday home. You know it, you love it. We love being here. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Back we are. If it is seafood that you crave, that you love, well, number one, they have it. I guarantee you here on the menu at Sliders Oyster Bar, they can prepare it to your liking, and you will be very, very happy. They feature Safe Harbor seafood, which is right there. I'm telling you, I could hit a driver and a 9-iron into the ocean where Safe Harbor is at, and that seafood goes from the ocean to your plate just like that. It can't get any fresher. Check it out. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to try the best seafood out and you want to test us, come on down to Neptune Beach and enjoy Sliders Oyster Bar. You can see and or hear all the people here. Happy hour going on outside patio where we're at, set up, just about filled up. Indoor bar, people eating at the bar, full service bar, and of course the oyster bar. Johnny Pop, the famous Johnny Pop, is shucking those oysters as we talk here. Great time of year to enjoy everything they offer here at Sliders Oyster Bar. One of our long time sponsors. We certainly appreciate Chris and Deanna Wooten and the good folks here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Terry Norvelle, we went ahead and let Patrick go, I do believe. He's been busy. I didn't want to sit him in his car in his driveway. I think it was time to get him out of here. A lot of topics here before we get out, about a half an hour left, and I'm going to lean on our buddy Casey Kurtz. Casey, some topics I want to kick around with you.
Yep.
And let people know. Did you hear? Let's go back to Saturday, the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the horse that won it. I can't remember. Wow, what the hell? Sovereignty.
Yes.
Sovereignty won, right?
That's correct.
Did you hear about the jockey? And I don't have his name. A very famous jockey. He's raced 3,000 races. The jockey for the winning horse Sovereignty, he got fined $31,000. Did you hear about it?
I did not.
Pretty cool story. Number one, he won, so there's no protest. He and the horse won. I didn't know this until reading this story, but it makes me happy because I'm an animal lover. The jockey, Alvarado, I think his name is, his last name, Alvarado, very famous jockey. He won it this past Saturday. He was fined $31,000 by, and there's a overriding horse racing entity, right? That runs horse racing. There is a rule, and I like it. In a horse race, the jockey can only whip. You know, they have a whip in their hand.
They do.
They can only whip 6 times total in a race.
Oh.
And I like it. You didn't know that? I didn't know it either.
I did not know that, no.
Come to find out, he might have gone to his whip like 7 or 8 times.
Ooh.
He did. He was confronted. They watched the tape. Now the race stands. There's no, forfeit of the race. But as he watched the race himself, he said, "I'm guilty. I did. I got caught up in the moment. I was trying to win the biggest horse race in the world, basically, almost." And so he didn't fight it, but I didn't know you can only whip your horse with you can only swat it to try and get it to run faster 6 times. And Casey, every time you swat, and I hope that's not the wrong term. Pardon me. I don't want to be coarse. Every time you whip or swat your horse, you have to let your horse stride at least 2 full times.
Okay.
To see if the whip right, and that makes sense. But no, this guy, he was fined $31,000 because his purse was $3.1 million. He won.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? That's pretty cool though. You can't just and they're off and start whipping the damn horse. That's not cool. I'm an animal lover.
I did not know that. I don't know much about horse racing in general, so I feel like today in general has been a educational show that you've brought to us today. But I did not know that.
We talked about whipping horses and jockeys almost dying.
I mean, technically he did die, but they just brought him back.
Yeah, they just gave him some. And if you wonder what we're talking about, you'll have to go watch the first 30 minutes of the show on one of the platforms. But I thought that was pretty cool that, Casey, there are stipulations. You can't just and they're off and start swatting your horse. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but I've never once thought about that being a rule.
No, never at all. All right, Casey, you ready for trivia? I got a trivia question.
Oh boy,
throw out. You ready for this?
Sure thing.
All right, here we go. Let me see if I can figure out how to phrase this trivia question. Okay. Well, this happened on this date.
Okay.
In 2014. So not that long ago. Okay?
So I've got a chance.
You've got a chance. If you're of the age that you were around in 2014, it involves the NFL draft 2014, and you know the NFL. Okay. Here is the trivia question. And I'm going to tie it to the Florida Gators and former Gator head football coach, Stephen Orr Spurrier. On this date, 2014, the great player/coach, Steve Spurrier. We know his wonderful coaching career. He had a lot of great players at Duke as the head coach, at Florida, and at South Carolina. Who was the player on this date, 2014, the one and only first pick of the first round that Steve Spurrier coached? He had one player out of all his great players as a coach. He coached one player that went 1 of 1 in the draft. 1 of 1.
Yep.
Casey Kirk.
I am going to go with a man that lost his job today as well, Jadeveon Clowney.
Wow, you went right to today's. Very, very nice. Coach Spurrier, all the players, all the offensive players that he coached at Duke in Florida and South Carolina, he had one player that was drafted, the first player in the first round, Jadeveon Clowney. And talk about what's going on. He got released today, right?
Yeah, he got cut. Colts, I think. I forget which team he was actually a part of, but he was released today from his NFL duties. That has been somewhat of a theme for Jadeveon Clowney. He has been on a bunch of teams since he was picked number 1 overall by the Texans. Yeah. He seems to have been somewhat productive pretty much everywhere he's gone. Yeah. And the thought is that he will play for somebody else this year. It just will not be the Colts.
I remember when the Coach Spurrier was at South Carolina and they signed him. He was out of the Carolina area, but no, he wasn't a flash in the pan. He was like one of the best recruits in the country. Casey, you may have seen this reading on this article a moment ago. I didn't realize this. Today, when I heard Clowney got released or what have you today, they said Clowney in the NFL never had a double-digit sack season. I found that hard to believe. Now, he's got a lot of sacks, but he never had 12, 15, 14, 16. Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah, I just pulled it up because I knew it wasn't the Colts. It's the Panthers who he was with and got cut. I'm looking at it right now. 9.5 sacks in 2017 was his biggest year. 58 in his career. He's played 11 years, and again, I think he will play this year. That is surprising, just because of he's one of the biggest recruits of all time. He was the number 1 overall pick. Oh, yeah.
Remember him coming out of high school? Just a massive. And Coach had it going on at South. And he was a South Carolina guy, I think. So they kept it home. You made a good point though. What did you say? 58 sacks. Yep. I think 50. That number 50 is if you get 50 sacks in the NFL, you're a good player. You get 75 to 100. You go over 100, you're ridiculous, right? You're a ridiculous player.
100's the Hall of Fame number for the most part. Not a guarantee, but pretty close to a guarantee. So, I mean, if you're over 50, you're more than halfway to a Hall of Fame career. I mean, 58 sacks is what he has, and that is I mean, that's a really good number. And he's made a lot of money doing it. So, I mean, good career.
But am I safe of saying just the eyeball test, and he had such obviously the time he blew up the Michigan running back in the bowl game. The eyeball test, we all thought Clowney would be a 120 sack guy, right?
Yes.
The frame, the big body, the athleticism.
Yes, you're definitely correct.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
100%.
Yeah, you thought, damn, Clowney's just going to be, but now he's still going. I mean, this is 2025 going into 26. He's still going. All right, a couple more this date in sports history I want to throw your way, Casey. Not trivia, but just throw your way. I was barely born way back 1967, but I can just imagine. I've watched a lot of highlights and news reels about this. This date, sports history, 1967, and think about our country in the 60s. All the stuff. We had the civil rights situation. We just came out of the Cold War was going on. The Bay of Pigs. JFK got killed in 63. Robert F. Kennedy got killed in 67. Martin Luther King got killed. How about this? 1967 on this date, Muhammad Ali, who changed his name and his religious beliefs to the name Muhammad Ali, formerly Cassius Clay, refuses induction into the U.S. Army. He got thrown in jail for 3 years, and it was 3 of his most peak years. And he stuck by his guns, changed his name, and he said, hey, man, my religious beliefs do not allow me to, inflict voluntary harm on another human being. So, you didn't know that? Ali spent 3 years in prison in the late 60s in his peak because he turned down, obviously Vietnam War was going on.
I did not know that. I had never heard that before.
Yeah. Cassius Clay was his birth name, and he changed his name. He went to the Muslim religion and became Muhammad Ali, and he stuck by. And obviously, he was a very much practicing religion. That was his practicing religion. So it wasn't, I don't want to go to the war.
Right.
He practiced that for, the last 40, 50 years of his life. Yeah, but can you imagine? You've got your country at war on the other side of the world. The United States, part of the Allied forces. Vietnam was going on. Inside your country, the entire 60s movement, civil rights, and you know how volatile that was.
Yeah, for sure.
And you are one of, there was a period, and you can look this up, there was a period where it was considered Muhammad Ali, formerly Cassius Clay, was considered the most recognized athlete in the world. And, and you say, well, how do you qualify? Well, Ali, some of his biggest fights, the Thrilla in Manila, Philippines, huge fight with Joe Frazier. The George Foreman fight in Zaire, he fought all over the world. Can you imagine how tough that was in the civil rights 60s and the Vietnam 60s for Muhammad Ali to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to go, you can throw me in prison. I'm not going to fight a war. I don't believe in it. my religion. Something. It was something. A little bit before my time as well, but I've studied on that. One more of this date in sports history, Casey. Maybe we can learn as we go. This date, sports history, 1984. The Cold War was raging. Obviously, the Cold War was the United States and the Soviet Union.
Okay.
Not war. We weren't shedding bullets and bombs, but there was a Cold War going on. In 1980, the United States did not send any Olympic athletes to participate in the 1980 Olympics in Moscow.
Okay.
So it stunk if you were a United States athlete in and around 1980 and you peaked out and you didn't go compete in the Olympics because your country said, because of political strife, we aren't sending.
Yeah, it's a major bummer.
That was 8. Yeah, but that is a major bummer. 4 years later, 1984, the Cold War still going on. The Soviet Union said, we are not sending any of our athletes to the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics because LA, and you know, way back then, I mean, the Soviet Union and the United States were the big boys.
Sure.
So yeah, it was tough. It was a weird time with the Cold War. The United States boycotted in 80, and the Soviet Union boycotted in 84. Yeah, interesting. I just wanted to get that out. Casey, want to bring it back to baseball?
Okay.
Real quick, as we are running out of time here, wrapping things up on a Thursday edition. Don't look now, and I wrote it down. Don't look now, and I know we got a long way to go. The Kansas City Royals are 22-16. They've won 5 games in a row. They're a pretty good baseball team. They right now are secured into a wild card. I know we got a long way to go, but Kansas City's a pretty good baseball team. They're young, up and coming. My man Jack Caglione is having a hellacious minor league season. Last I checked 2 days ago, he was batting .314 through 27 games, 6 doubles, 6 home runs, 27 RBI in 27 games. It wouldn't surprise me if post All-Star game, if Kansas City is still hanging around from a fire point standpoint, it wouldn't surprise me if Kansas City said, let's bring this guy up and see if he can give us a little magic. Is Kansas City supposed to be good like this, or is this kind of a one-off? I don't know.
They were not supposed to be like great. They are well thought of. They do have a really good team. Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best players in the sport.
Bobby Witt, yeah.
They have, I won't say a ton of pitching. They have super quality pitching in a guy like Cole Raggins, who might be the Cy Young winner. But they've gotten a lot out of like Seth Lugo, who was kind of a journeyman and has been good for them. He was an all-star last year. He's Bubic,
like their ace now.
Yeah, he is. Chris Bubic came out in, like, he's been with them a while, came out of nowhere and has an under 2 ERA right now. So like their pitching is overachieving, and their bats though were well thought of. Michael Garcia is well thought of. Vinny Pasquantino is well thought of. So they were supposed to be decent, not good. I liked them a little more than most. Yeah. And Caglione will be interesting because he's in AA right now. They could bring him straight up, but I think if they're going to make a move for 25, you'll see him go up to AAA in the next week or so, just to get him at bats there, because they're not usually a call straight up from AA team like some teams are. Like the Marlins are notorious for that. The Royals are not that team, so I think they'd have to make that move and let him hit in AAA.
Yeah, I was going to throw that at you. I was going to say it is a little risky to yank a guy from AA. You know, he Caglione, if they did that, he could prosper. You could also stun his growth too, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You absolutely could. And listen, there's definitely a difference between AA and AAA, but most teams feel like that jump isn't as huge because you do see guys come straight from AA. But this is one that you can't afford to screw up if you're the Royals, right? He's your future. So you've got time, if you're thinking post All-Star break or, after the trade deadline, get him in AAA now. Let him get at bats in Omaha against some of the tough teams in that little area and see where you're at. But I think it's very reasonable that he could be on the Royals by the end of the year.
And that'll be fun to track, Cags. Probably post All-Star game, but that'll be fun to track. All right, Casey, a couple more things I want to hit before we get out of here. Some fun, some crazy. Did you happen to hear? Did you happen to hear the story? There's this national professional tennis match going on. I can't remember what country. It was abroad, and it was legitimate, high-ranking tennis guys. Probably the top 50 tennis guys in the world. Big tournament.
Okay.
So there's this Russian professional tennis guy, and he is dominating. It's the best 2 out of 3. He's won 1, and he's up 4-love in the third. Okay, so he's about to win the damn thing, right?
Sounds like it.
Yes, he's about to win. It's 4-love. He's winning. I don't know if he thought the match was called terrible. He blows up and starts cussing the chair umpire, the linesman, the lineswoman, and he starts doing gestures toward his genitalia saying, "You stink." Hey, he gets ran out of the match, so he lost.
Jeez.
He was up 4-love, for God's sake.
Tough way to lose.
Yeah, tough way to lose. You may know this. I don't follow the NBA playoffs. I should, but I just don't. Did I understand this correctly? Oklahoma City last night won a game. They scored 87 points in the first half.
Yes.
87.
That did happen.
Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. They absolutely dominated the heck out of the Thunder, or out of the Nuggets. They are the Thunder. Yeah, it was pretty ugly. I watched a good bit of that until I didn't, but yeah, it was. They asserted some dominance in that series for sure.
That's nuts. That is nuts. I want to say this is a feel-good story. I want to throw this out. It involves the guy's career being over, but I still think it's a little bit of feel-good just to get it out. I don't know if you remember this player 3 or 4 years ago, Utah football, Kyle Whittingham, who I really like, the head coach at Utah. He's a Urban Meyer guy. He took the job over when Meyer left Utah way back, and he's been there for almost 20 years. He had a quarterback by the name of Cam Rising.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Rising was a really nice college quarterback. He was a Brett Favre kind of just sandlot, get it, whatever needed to happen in the play. Cam Rising kind of did it.
Yep.
He came to Gainesville. Florida opened up with Utah, and he played his ass off in a game in Gainesville. It was kind of Anthony Richardson's first game. Cam Rising was a real nice player. He started getting hurt. He had 3, maybe 4 major. Cam Rising announced today he's done. I just want to get that out. Do you remember that guy? He was a scrappy quarterback, man.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember him. Watched Utah play a little bit. He made Dalton Kincaid into a really good player, which ended up working out
really
well
nice player
for Dalton Kincaid. I do remember that football game, and that might have been Anthony Richardson's best game as a Florida Gator, by the way.
Ever. It was it like his first game? It was his best game.
Yeah, it was one of his first starts, but he was really. I mean, the only other game he was not only other, but the other game that goes up against that would be the LSU game on the road, which the Gators lost. But
I agree, and you make a good point about Richardson. Might have been his best game. That was, I think, his first game, or first or second. But that was the first. That was a night national broadcast, and Richardson showed out. The whole country went, "Oh my God, give this guy the Heisman!"
Yes.
Right.
And Utah was highly ranked, right? Because it was week 1, weren't they? Like a top 15 team or something like that?
They were very highly ranked. As a matter of fact, if you remember this, Dalton Kincaid, who's still in the league, by the way, really good tight end. He was the number 2 tight end. They had Brant Keithy, their first tight end, who was a little bit older. He was a great player, but he also blew his knee out.
That's right. I do remember this.
Yeah, they had 2. They were good. Kyle Whittingham is a really, really, really good coach. He's still there. I think they've got a coach in waiting. Real quick, have you heard Disneyland will open up a theme park and help me pronounce this, I always mess it up. Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Have you heard about that? Abu Dhabi Disneyland.
I had not heard about that, but I'm pretty sure they could open one up on like the moon and they would get good viewership or good people
don't
coming
forget
in.
Now, Disneyland opened up years ago in Paris, and it took a little while. But Disneyland Abu Dhabi is about to open up. You know, Casey, you may take a trip there. I don't think I have the wherewithal to get to Abu Dhabi and go to Disneyland.
I don't think I'll see myself there. I could just slide down to Orlando if I'm really that inclined to slide through Epcot.
But Disneyland Abu Dhabi, and by the way, that's just fun to say, right? Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
That just, when you say Abu Dhabi, it comes to mind, you see money.
Yeah.
And camel and desert, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Anything else? That'll do it. All right, Casey, good job, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate Patrick Young and everybody watching and listening to the show. We enjoyed it. We want to thank our friends here at Sliders here in Neptune Beach. We'll be back here at 4 o'clock for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks. Have a great rest of your Thursday, everybody.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1.